Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 6 of the Boosted Films EVO build blog. In this episode, we're going to talk about installing shifter bushings, installing our EVO 9 turbo, our cam giveaway, and one lap of America. So it feels like it's been forever since I've done a blog, but it's really only been probably about 3 weeks. But obviously I went on the one lap of America trip and flooded your subscription inbox with videos from there. Hope you liked them, hope you put up with them. I'll talk more about one lap later on in case you're sick of all that. We did do our cam giveaway, and I gotta give a shout out and say congratulations to these 5 YouTubers somewhere on the screen here. They were the ones who earned the most points and qualified for the cam giveaway drawing. Obviously only one of them was the winner, but congratulations to all 5 of you for earning the most points. Had some fun doing the contest, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So what have we done to the EVO since the last video blog? Well, we installed some shifter bushings, going from the shifter cables to the transmission. I bought some torque solution shifter bushings, got those installed. They didn't fit exactly quite right without some modifications. I actually had to trim down the smaller bushing. It was a little bit too tall basically, or too long. When I pushed it all the way on, there was no way to get the cotter pin in through the hole that it slides through without modifying that bushing. So I ended up shaving that bushing down and making it a little bit shorter to get that to work. And we also got our EVO 9 turbo mounted up and installed in the car. But before we could install the turbo, I installed all the lines that I could. I installed both the coolant lines, the coolant feed line, and the coolant return line. I got those bolted on the turbo. And then the oil feed line, I bolted that in place as well. I didn't have a gasket yet for the oil return line, so as soon as I get a gasket for the oil return line, I'll hook that up, but that should be pretty easy to do when the turbo is still in the car. And one thing that I forgot to even cover in my turbo install video a few years back now was to actually set the preload on your wastegate actuator. And the way you adjust your wastegate preload is by basically bolting on your wastegate actuator arm to the turbo itself. And then you should be able to loosen up the nut that holds the adjuster arm in place, and then you should be able to adjust the arm basically until it fits on the turbo without any tension. And then what you're going to want to do is turn it in a couple turns, and then you're going to have to apply some force to that arm to pull that arm out and put it in place on that wastegate flapper. And the reason you want to set some tension on there is because if there really was no tension on that wastegate flapper, it would just be kind of open. And realistically, that would be just like a big boost leak. The exhaust gases would be coming through your turbo and they'd be trying to spool up your turbo, but instead some of the exhaust gases would be leaking out your wastegate because there's no tension on that wastegate keeping that wastegate door closed. So basically, if you are installing a new turbo on your EVO, you want to make sure you do set that wastegate actuator preload. I also have an EVO 9 J-pipe here, and I couldn't help but notice that where this little vacuum hose connects, that there was quite a big kind of burr in here, a big part that kind of stood out. And I can't imagine that would help airflow too well, so I ended up just taking a die grinder to that to smooth that out a little bit. Haven't installed this J-pipe yet either because I still need to get a gasket for that. And even though it's not directly related to this build, I also finally got a chance to take off the snow tires of my wife's Rally Art and put some EVO 10 BBS wheels on there and put summer tires on. So I spent some time doing that this week as well. So that's actually going to lead me to my question of the episode, which is, what's your daily driver? My wife daily drives our Rally Art. I actually just daily drive a Honda Civic. I know EVOs aren't necessarily the best car to have as a daily driver, but hey, if your EVO is your daily driver too, let me know. And that's about all that's been done since the last episode. I know it's not a whole lot, but I just kind of wanted to update you guys. Obviously, it's been a crazy couple weeks for me with the one lap of America trip, and then I was traveling for business the week after that. And I hope you guys really enjoyed those one lap of America videos. I feel very fortunate that I was able to follow along with those 5 drivers that I kind of featured. They're all really cool dudes, and hopefully that kind of came across in the videos as well. I was also really lucky to have a co-producer along with me. Churchill was tagging along, helped do a lot of the driving and the commuting. If you didn't know, basically for one lap 2, we couldn't actually tag along with the drivers and ride with their cars or anything. We had to have our own car and follow them around to all these tracks. So I was lucky that Churchill did a lot of driving to help give me time to edit a lot of those videos on the road. But honestly, by the 3rd day, I was just pretty much wiped by the time I made that third video and completed that. I had spent a lot of time editing, and luckily Churchill stepped up and was ready to edit an episode for me. So he filled it in and edited episode 4 and then episode 6, which made it a lot easier for me. And I don't know if I would have been able to get done what I wanted to get done without him. So Churchill, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Everyone, I really appreciate you guys watching. Honestly, a lot of nights I wouldn't get to bed till like 2:33, and then I'd have to get up again at like 6 or 7 in the morning. But I would always try to get those videos uploaded at night. So when I woke up in the morning, honestly, a lot of your comments and likes and all that shares and stuff really kind of helped keep me motivated, because I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have a whole bunch of messages on my phone and I'd be reading through all the comments and stuff. So that was a pretty cool experience. So I'm really glad that you guys were so supportive of that event. I really appreciate it. But that's enough One Lap of America talk for this episode. If you guys are really curious and want to know more about my experience, maybe I'll make a separate video just talking about that trip. So that's about it for episode 6 of the EVO build blog. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in episode 7. So distracted by these mosquitoes. I had the One Lap of America trip, and stupid mosquitoes are screwing me up. Shift. You took off your wastegate actuator. So what's all been done to the EVO since? So that's about it. And that's about all I got for the mosquitoes. Got him.